What's up, gang? This is Captain Chad with Buck Rogers Charters, and as you can see behind me, as usual, the wind is howling. It's been blowing hard pretty much since September. I can't remember a year I've had to cancel so many charters because of the wind, but as you can see, it is letting it rip. So I'm out here at the Buck Rogers Ranch. Well, actually, I'm at my house, but Buck Rogers Ranch sounds so much better. So anyway, I'm at my house trying to figure out what I'm going to do while it's windy, making it easier for me to go fishing when I do get to go fishing. So today I'm tying bottom rigs. They call them chicken rigs. They call them double drop loop, dropper loop rigs, whatever you want to call it. Look at this wind. Unbelievable. I use these double rigs for pretty much everything. Mainly bottom fishing, obviously, but we use them for sea bass, beeliners, triggerfish, red porgy. I've caught snapper, big snapper. Just caught a 23-pound mule a few days ago on a dropper rig, and I had a 2/0 circle hook on it. I'll show you the hooks as well of what I use and why. But anything, I've caught amberjack on them, grouper, whatever. They work great and very effective. Typically, whenever I'm tying up these dropper loops, you got to do the loops and then you got to stick it through, and it's hard to make it consistent. You don't get the right size knot, you don't get the right number of loops, you can't control the spread between the hooks, you can't control the length of your loop so that the rigs look like garbage, and you use a lot of extra line because you have to get a predetermined set of line in order to tie this up. And when you get done, you cut the slack off, you've got 7, sometimes 12, 14 inches of overlapped line that you just throw away, so it's wasteful. So using the jig makes it where I don't waste line. All the dropper loops are the exact same size. The spread between the hooks are the same size. And no matter how many hooks I put on a rig, whether it's 2, 3, or 4, they're all the exact same size. It looks uniform. And it just makes it easier when you're fishing, if everything's the same. So I'm going to show you. Maybe you're having trouble, maybe you already know how, and this gives you a different idea of how to tie the same thing you're already using. But this is what I do, and I just wanted to share it with you, and maybe it'll help you tie up some dropper loops. So let's go to the table, show you the jig I made, and see if it helps you. Chicken rig or a dropper loop, 1 hook, 2 hook, 3 hooks, whatever. Typically the chicken rig or the dropper loop comes with 2 hooks at least, but with this little jig I've got, you can tie as many as you want to. They're all the same length. I used to try to tie these things just with my hands and the line, but I end up I can't get the loops even. I can't get the loops even on both sides of the loop. I can't be consistent with the width between the hooks. And when you're tying 3 or 4 hooks to a rig, you kind of want to do an even spread. Just makes it easier, when you're fishing. And in addition to that, whenever I'm tying them with my hands, typically I'll get a length of string out, and when I get to the end of it and I cut it off, I have a lot of slack left over, so there's a lot of waste. Got 3 screws and then these 2 clips. So I'll show you how to tie one up. It doesn't take long neither. So I've got my string right here. Typically I like to use, I got this Suffix line and this 80-pound test line. You can also do it with whatever strength you want to, but the 80-pound test line is about borderline. One, it gives you enough stiffness so that the hooks stick out pretty good, as you can see there. The lighter the line, the weight of the hooks will cause it to droop down like this, and it ends up getting tangled more. So the heavier the line, the better, but if you go above 80, then you got to be selective on what hook you use so that the eye is big enough to receive the loop that's doubled over to hook the hook up. So anyway, just take the line, hook it in this first clip, go around all 3 nails. And you twist your little loops here about 4 or 5 times. Take that loop off, and then you want to just maintain some strength right here. Hook that on that nail, and then keep everything tight, and then just pull it tight. Boom. Every time you get the same amount of loops on either side of it, and it does good. So then on this one, you just hook it how you determine how long you want your next one to be. I just hook it right inside there, and then I do the same process again. I round all 3 nails, and instead of having this really tight right here like this, you want to give yourself a little bit of slack so that you have room to do the twist. Otherwise it gets really tight, you're out of space, and you can't get the string off the nails that easy. 4, 5, 6 loops, bring that through the hole in the middle, boom. Keep everything tight and pull it away from each other, just like that. And if I wanted to do a 3rd loop, I would repeat the process, or a 4th loop, I'd repeat the process the same way. But I'm just going to do 2. So I've got my little stretch line above the top loop. This is going to go to a swivel on the main line. Got the 1st loop, I got the 2nd loop, and then I just come about 20 inches, make a loop here, go through 2 times, pull it tight. That gives me my weight loop, and then I cut the slack off, and there's 0 waste. I just start with that end and do it again. So once you get everything done, the only thing left to do now is put the hooks on. When you put the hook on, you want to go in from the barb side, and I'll show you why. So I do this one in from the barb side. This is why you don't want to go over 80-pound test line, because it's hard to get through that eye, but it will go through. So you do the loop through the hook, and then do the hook through the loop, just like that. And this is why you want to go in the barb side, is because when the hook hangs, the fish comes in and grab the bait, and it's easier for them to get the hook. But if you do it backwards, or where I come from, we call it backwards. Again, it's tough to get through there. So this is doing it the backwards way. And then when it hangs, the hook is almost recessed. It goes the wrong direction. If the fish is coming straight up, it's good, but typically the fish is going to come in from the side, so you want it to look. See the difference? This one's better. This one's better. So I'm going to fix this one. Stick it through, hook back through the loop, and then all I got to do, typically what I do is I'll ball these up and put them in Ziploc bags like this, so I'm ready to go. All I got to do is pull it out of the bag and tie it onto the line, instead of having to mess around out there tying up rigs. So then all I got left to do is, after I've dropped it a couple times, is to put the weight on. So you do the weight the same way you do the hook. Sinker loop through the weight, weight through the loop, just like that. It's ready to go. What I like about this is no matter what kind of current you got, it's easy to switch the weight out. If you need more weight, it takes you literally 1 second to change your weight out. So no matter what the current's doing, as long as you've got the weight to match the current, you can switch it out really fast. And all of you know that if you bottom fish, you're supposed to use circle hooks. The circle hooks that I like to use are small, but they're strong. This is a 2/0 VMC Tournament 3X non-offset. We can no longer have offset circle hooks out of Jacksonville or the South Atlantic. So you got to have non-offset. This is a 2/0 VMC 3X, super strong. You can catch triggerfish, beeliners, sea bass. Just this past week, we caught a 23-pound snapper on that hook. So they will not break. They hold good. So that's what kind of hook I like to use. But anyway, that's the bottom rig we use whenever we're bottom fishing for stringer fish. And you can make a jig from scrap stuff you've got around the house. Just find you a piece of board, a few nails, and a couple clips, and you've got your jig made. So just put it together, get the tying, and go put it to use. If you've been fishing with me before, you've seen those rigs in action. If you haven't, we'd love to show them to you in person. Love to have you on the boat. If you like the content, we'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button and then click that notification bell. That way if we put a video up, you'll get notified of it. And we'll see you on the water.